Till here, we have completed the construction of conventional battery ignition system. Now, we'll see the working of conventional battery ignition system. Now, we'll start from the battery first of all. Okay, so this is our battery or voltage source. Okay, primary voltage source. So this negative terminal of this our voltage source is connected to the vehicle body, or it is grounded to the vehicle body. Okay, and the positive terminal is connected to the further subsystems. So now start with the current flow. Consider the battery voltage or the battery voltage is responsible to make a current flow through this way. Okay, so the current flow is start flowing this way. Imagine the previously told that engine kills is present here and it is in close condition. Okay, so the current flow through that one only. After that, enter to the ignition switch. It is a key switch where you turn the key. Now this current is start flowing through the resistor, that is ballast resistor, and it enter to the ignition coil. Into the ignition coil, it passing through primary winding or thickened wire which is wound around the soft iron core. Okay, so this is a just flowing through it. This is flowing through that primary winding which having the turns near about 200 to 300. Here we are considering our primary winding having number of turns 200, approximately 200. Now current coming out through this way through ignition winding from the ignition coil. Okay, so now we know the one thing, as we studied in basic of electrical and electronics subject, whenever current flowing through a winding, that time magnetic field supposed to develop across it. Okay, and that magnetic field will not be a the development of magnetic field will not be a very sudden, it just a gradual, like sunrise. As sun start to rising 0 to maximum, in that way the magnetic field also start to develop gradually in that fashion. Okay, magnetic field in both side, I mean to say on across the or about all 360 about that ignition coil. Okay, so this 2D plane we are just showing the both two sides. So it start to develop 0 to maximum level. Okay, so both direction here, and whenever this magnetic field start rising or start developing, that time it cutting the secondary winding coil, it start to cutting the secondary winding wire. And whenever magnetic field cuts the conductor, that time current start to flow through that conductor. We know this thing. So that's why whenever magnetic field growing of primary winding, it responsible to develop a flow of current through a secondary winding. So we will see that current develop current afterward. Just now focus on the flow of current through primary winding. Now this current go further here, it entering to the distributor. Now here two path comes, either it will flow through capacitor or it will flow through this contact breaker. But whenever it flow through contact breaker, that time this contact should be closed, and whenever this contact in closed condition, it should be closed or it is a close whenever none of the lead or no one of the this present lead from that respective cylinder are in contact with the rotor needle. I told you in the previous video, there is a needle is present on this rotor which supposed to rotate and one by one touching to lead coming through this from the spark plug into the distributor cap with respect to the firing order. So this contact of contact breaker is closed only when needle of rotor is not making contact with any one of the lead. Okay, any one of the lead, that time the contact breaker contact is closed. So now we are considering this needle of the rotor are not making contact with any one of those present leads. That 6 leads are present on the cap of the distributor, so it not making contact with those leads. So now our contact breaker is closed. Okay, so now which path may select by current? That is easiest path. It will not flow through capacitor because capacitor resistance is more than that of the our contact breaker or the state line conductor. So it start to flow, it select the easiest path and it flow through this way, and it will reaches to earth. Okay, it reaches to earth, and this earth is nothing but this earth, which is common. Okay, this earth is also two vehicle body, this one is also vehicle body, so in that way the circuit will complete it this way. Okay, okay, so the primary winding both end. Okay, the one end of the primary winding is connected to the positive terminal, and another end of the primary winding is connected to the negative terminal of battery via various subsystem like ignition switch, engine coil switch, through ballast register, through contact breaker. It again come back to the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, now come back to the developed current into the secondary winding. As I told you, whenever the magnetic field start rising in the primary winding, it cuts the conductor, that is it cuts the wire of or secondary coil. Okay, and due to the what magnetic field cuts the conductor, current start to develop into the secondary winding, and that current start to flow through secondary winding. It coming out through this way, and it introduced inside the distributor above the rotor cap. And as I told you, this is a time at which contact is made by contact breaker. And I told you, whenever the contact is made, that time this needle are not touches to any one of the lead coming from the respective spark plug of that cylinder of their cylinder. So whatever the current are developed into the secondary winding, that current is not conveyed to any one of the lead or any one of the cylinder. Now you may ask, what is the magnitude or what is the voltage get applied due to flowing current through secondary winding across the spark plug inside the cylinder. Okay, so we will have that solution of that question. Now consider now come to here, that point number 1, we know the number of turns in primary winding is 200 to 300. As I told you, I am considering number of turns on primary winding is 200. Now number of turns on the secondary winding is 21,000. So our secondary winding having number of turns 21,000 here. Now come directly to the point number 4, voltage induced in each turn of primary winding. Okay, it means due to 12 volt battery supply, how much amount of voltage supposed to induce in each turn of primary winding. We know our primary winding has number of turns about 200. Okay, so 12 volt divided by 200, nothing but the 0.06 volt EMF developed across the each turn of our primary winding. Now question may come, that is how much amount of EMF develop across the each turn of secondary winding. Simple, come to the point number 5, number of turn conveyed by each turn of primary winding, that is 0.06 multiplied by number of turn of secondary winding, that is 0.06 multiplied by 21,000. Okay, so that 21.06 multiplied by 21,000, you will get 1260 volts. So this is the total voltage developed. This is the total voltage developed across. This is the total voltage developed across each turn. Sorry, not each turn. This is a total voltage developed across the secondary winding. Means voltage across this point A to here the another point of secondary winding. that is B. Okay, so this voltage is applied, developed, that is 1260. Okay, this is a voltage, but as I told you, too much high voltage is required inside the combustion chamber to have a spark at that much high pressure. Okay, so this 1260 is not sufficient to develop the spark. We at least require 20,000, 20k, 20k to 30k voltage in order to develop a spark inside the combustion chamber at that much high pressure atmosphere. Okay, so this 1260 is never line between these two range, so this is thing where spark is not take place. So that's why the we have tuned distributed in such way, whenever 1260 voltage is developed into across the secondary winding, our spark or our needle should not be in contact with the lead. Okay, now we will see what happen when contact is break. And as I told you, whenever contact is break, that time needle of this rotor are at least making a contact with any one of the lead coming from the respective cylinder. Okay, so now imagine the diagram also shown that the needle of this rotor is making contact of this cylinder, lead of this cylinder, and contact is open, and that time the peak or the notch present on the bottom of the rotor are pushing this push end of contact breaker, so that's why contact get break. Now what happened, as I told you in previous time, 12 volt due to the 12 volt supply battery current, magnetic field is developed here. Okay, so similarly, that developed magnetic field, previously developed magnetic field, okay, it start to collide in this direction gradually, like sunset, as sun uh, gradually disappearing. Similarly, magnetic field also gradually start to disappearing, but whenever it's disappearing, okay, whenever it disappearing, that time the total charge, okay, the total charge is this, the total charge get absorbed into the capacitor. Again, whenever spark plug, whenever this contact breaker start to breaking a contact, that time one arc supposed to generate, means whenever we are short circuiting any positive and negative terminal of battery, that time the arc may produce, so that arc also get absorbed by this capacitor. Okay, this capacitor absorb the arc develop across the contact breaker whenever it breaking the contact, so capacitor gets charged somewhat, and whenever this magnetic field is supposed to collapsing, okay, that time all those collapsed charge supposed to absorb by capacitor. Now this current is flowing through this because winding is somewhat charged, winding are charged, magnetic field are collapsing. Okay, so that charge is get absorbed by capacitor through this way, and it reaches to here. Okay, it reaches to here through battery, it making a complete switch, complete connection. Okay, but what happened, magnetic this as this contact breaker opens, all the current, okay, start to flow in reverse direction, and this magnetic field start to collapse, and due to that collapsing of magnetic field, this capacitor gets charged, and now capacitor is charged beyond the limit of this battery. As I told you, battery having only 12 volt supply. Okay, now our current start to flow through capacitor because contact is now open, contact is now open, so our current is start to flow through capacitor. Okay, and capacitor get charged and it reaches to about voltage of 200 to 300. Our capacitor having capacity about 200 to 300 storage of charge. Okay, it store the charge about 200 to 300. This is the advantage of capacitor, which stored the charge more than battery, but it discharge more faster than the battery. Okay, it charge too much, it charge with a too much amount of what we can say charge, or we can say it having a too much potential as compared to battery, but it's a charging and discharging time is very quick. Okay, it's not like battery is discharging gradually, so that's why we are using battery, uh, or we are having the long life battery. Okay, or the battery hold the charge for long time, but not like capacitor. Capacitor not like a battery. It having the high capacity, but it quickly disappear. It quickly charge, quickly discharge. Okay, so the capacitor start charging and it get charged about to 300 old or 200 old. Okay, 300 to 200. So our capacitor get charged. Now erase everything. Now consider our capacitor is charged, contact is open still. Okay, as I told you, capacitor charge very quickly. Our capacitor get charged about 200 voltage. This voltage is more than battery having only 12 volt. So now the flow of current or direction of flow of current is exactly opposite. Now capacitor start to give supply to primary winding because potential difference, this capacitor is out of the 200 volt and our battery is at the 12 volt. Okay, so potential difference across the two storage device, battery and the capacitor. So this storage device having high potential, so now it's responsible to make a flow in reverse direction. Now across the primary winding, voltage applied it about 200 volt. It start to flow in this fashion. Okay, come to here, negative side. Now current flow through capacitor to battery, means capacitor giving voltage to battery through primary winding. So whenever voltage of 200 volt applied across the ignition, that primary winding, again EMF is developed, magnetic field is developed. That magnetic field is much more stronger than the magnetic field developed previously due to 12 volt supply, that is battery. Now magnetic field is developed due to 200 volt supply, so it is much more stronger. Okay, so this much more stronger magnetic field is supposed to cut our conductor, that is secondary winding. So again, whenever magnetic field cuts the conductor, it magnetic that current start to flow through that conductor. So current start to flow through secondary winding and that current conveyed to the top of the rotor. As I told you, this contact is open, that time needle of the rotor is in contact with the one of the lead, so it is in contact with this lead. So current of we are jumping just here, and this current develop into the secondary winding of voltage of somewhat higher voltage is conveyed to respect to spark plug and spark get initiate as shown in the slide. Now the question may arise, how much amount of voltage get developed across the secondary winding? Okay, so we will have the answer for it. Similarly, come as previously on point number 1, number of turns on the primary winding is 200. Okay, so our 200 to 300, we are considering our primary winding having 200 turns. Number of turns on secondary winding 21,000. So our secondary winding having 21,000 turns. Now come to the point number 4, this red one. We have applied 200 volt supply across the primary winding. Due to that, much stronger magnetic field supposed to develop. Due to that magnetic field, uh, secondary into the secondary winding, current start to flow. Okay, so we here we are finding how much amount of voltage develop into the each turn or across the each turn of the primary winding. So this can be calculated by this way: 200 divided by 200 number of turns, that is 200 volt. Whose 200 volt? This is a 200 volt of the capacitor, this one, divided by 200 turns of the primary winding. So we are getting 1 volt 1 volt voltage applied across the each turn of the primary winding. Okay, now question is, so voltage induced in each turn of secondary winding. So uh, how much amount of voltage develop in each turn of secondary winding? It is also 1 volt, because 1 volt develop of primary winding is conveyed to the 1 volt of the secondary winding. So how much total amount of voltage develop across the secondary winding? That is voltage developed to into or voltage conveyed to each turn of winding multiplied by number of turns. So 1 volt multiplied by 21,000 of turns. So we are getting a 21,000 volt at the end of the secondary winding, which get applied across the spark plug of this cylinder. So current flow due to the 21,000 volt EMF is much more capable to sustain or to develop and sustain the spark at that high pressure atmosphere. So now, till whenever this contact is not make again, okay, till that time capacitor get discharged into the primary winding. Okay, and as soon as contact make here against, that time this needle has shifted further, means the contact of this needle and lead get break. At the same time contact of these two are made, and again current start flowing through battery to contact breaker and to ground. That time again that magnetic field is developed due to 12 volt supply. Our developed voltage into the secondary winding is somewhat 1260, and during that time needle is not connected to any of needle present over here. As soon as again contact break here, arc across this contact breaker get absorbed by capacitor get charged somewhat, and this magnetic field get collapse. Then magnetic the charge of collapsing magnetic field again get charged by the capacitor. Okay, and current from the battery it start to flow through capacitor instead of flowing through contact breaker, and capacitor get charged about to 200 volt. Then flow get reverse, it start to supply to battery. Okay, and during that time this contact is break, and at that time only this lead or needle of this rotor is supposed to have contact with the one of the next cylinder lead. Okay, so this thing is come on making and doing means whenever the contact is break, that time capacitor get charged and discharged. So very few seconds we have left for charging and discharging of capacitor. So here capacitor plays a very important role. Okay, another role of capacitor is to make or to enhance the life of this contact breaker, because whenever arc is jump across this contact breaker, there is a chances of burning it. Okay, so that spark jumping get absorbed by capacitor. So this capacitor is just like our electrical storage, like battery, which having higher capacity but have a higher charging and discharge rate as that of the battery. So it plays a very important role over here. Okay, so that the same thing capacitor is used in further developed generation of our ignition system, but the method of use is different. So this is the conventional ignition system. Here we have completed construction and working of the conventional battery ignition system. Still some part is remaining over here, that is phases of ignition. Here the phases of ignition, I'm going to complete this phases of ignition in next video, because this video become too much lengthy. Still if you have any doubt in this regarding this video, you will ask on you have to ask on, or you may ask on Google Classroom. Okay, so till here we have completed the construction working. We will do the remaining thing in next video. Thank you.